Good afternoon to International Racing League Season 15 F1 at round number 2 at China. I'm a commentator, Aaron, or Jared Fosbury, here to show you some more F1 action. As we saw last weekend, we were at Austria, and the weekend before that, we were at Portimao. And some penalty information from last week's event, which altered the win from Liam. Lewis Millen then takes the victory due to OP Liam getting a 5-second penalty, which cost him a couple of positions, dropping down the order. And Millen, since he didn't have any penalties, takes the victory on that side. So he is in the lead of the Drivers' Championship this season so far for the first round. Have a look. Can he maintain it for round number 2? Only time will tell. At the moment, we are waiting for Nama Drivers to join because we are expecting a full grid today. And we will go over the constructors' standings as well after the first round. So then, on the constructors right now, Haas, obviously with Millen taking the victory, are leading. So Lee and Millen are working wonders with the Haas team. They look very strong contenders for the constructors this season. Held up in second place is Aston Martin with Tony and Ross or Donut Denham with 18 points. In second place, Tony got all those points there for the team due to Ross retiring early on into the race. We also have Mumford plays with Sondre in Alpine taking third. Mumford plays got third place due to Liam with that penalty. So he got Alpine into third there. Sondre unfortunately missed out on points due to a 12-second penalty he had within the race. Red Bull, same again, only one driver scored a point, which was Cameron Armstrong or New Zealand Cam. He scored 12 points. AlphaTauri though in fifth with Cameron and Alfie both scoring points for the team. 11 points to the name in fifth place. And Kirsten Edward in sixth with Williams, who are a strong pair and who are, I think, favourite for the Constructors' title this season, and one of them maybe for the drivers as well, with 8 points in sixth. And the last team to score points was Mercedes with Lodi and Ushin in seventh. McLaren with Luke Baker and I forgot his name. Luke Baker and I believe Alex Waller, that's the one, Carrot Finger. He has both been promoted to McLaren due to the McLaren seats being vacant now. So they're promoted to McLaren, so hopefully they can score their first points for this round as they should be racing today. Alfa Romeo with Brandon Ollie, unfortunately didn't score any points with Ollie, the only driver for that team to race there. Made a couple of mistakes. Brandon unfortunately couldn't make it, but he'll be making it today, and hopefully he can get some strong, solid points to the team. And WR Thomas and Joss in Ferrari didn't score any points. Unfortunately, couldn't start the race and had to leave it on round 1 due to the formation lap glitch we had. And just a note, formation lap will not be on for this round due to the glitch, and we'll wait for an update. Hopefully that can be soon. We don't want it like the last game. But that is the constructors for you as we wait now. We have 15 people in the lobby, waiting for 5 more people. We're currently missing the Red Bull pairing, which is obviously Fergs and Cameron Armstrong. Missing the Mercedes of Lodi and Ushin. Lodi and Ushin are available, so they should be there. Also missing Tony in the Aston, and that is it. Oh, and the McLaren of Luke, I believe. Yeah, it's Bavizia is one of the reserves there who's making the round. There's voice chat has been suspended now. We've now 16 people in the lobby. But will Millen be able to take another victory today? As any questions, do leave them in the comments. And if you are interested in signing up, do let us know on the IRL on Twitter or send a message in the chat and we'll send a Discord link your way. But I think favourites for the Drivers' Championship this season, in my point of view, it's going to be Cameron. I think Lee could be a good shout. To be fair, he's had some solid pace at the start, just hasn't been able to get it put together. I think a bit of luck goes away, I think he can get up there. Both Williams drivers, Edward and Kirsten. I think Bran again. I think Bran's a shout. He might not be the quickest, but he's consistent. So I think he could be up there as well. Potentially Tony's well in the Aston. He isn't that slow. So that is my potential drivers for the drivers' title this season. Constructors, it's in between AlphaTauri, Williams and Haas. I don't think any other team could potentially challenge unless they have some good results, which could happen. We have 17 now, just went for 3 drivers, which is both Mercs and one of the Red Bulls. So Ferguson, Ushin and Lodi. As we should be going very shortly as well, unless there's been a delay due to an issue for somebody getting in the lobby. I don't believe there is. 18 now. Lodi's made the session, just missing Ushin and Ferguson. I did see a lot of action. Oh, Alfie's for some reason going to spectate that. He needs to get in his car. Now, sorry. Ushin now is in the lobby as well. So we're just missing the Red Bull. But we did have a very good first round at Austria. A lot of overtaking, a lot of strategy changes, and a few safety cars did come into play for the first round. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, where there's too many safety cars, cost people some positions, alter the strategies a little bit, but hopefully we can have some more spectacular racing today. Obviously the field might be a little bit spread out, it's not short of a track, and China can be a pain for some of the drivers who are not really fond of this track around here. And you never know, the weather could show up, it could rain, so that could be a factor for today's race as well. And we have 19 so far. Still waiting on the Red Bull. A couple of drivers are already in up. I'm just waiting for the admin of the tier, or the director, to let the drivers know they can go as soon as possible. And Ferguson is in, so we do have a 20 car grid, which is great to see. It's been a while since we've had 20 people in the lobby. Obviously we had 20 people in the lobby last week in quali, but it didn't end up in that due to the race restart. Hopefully we have no issues, touching wood. Got a full 20 car grid and a lot of action on track, as I think the drivers are getting ready then. And I'm going to go with my quali prediction early then. I'm going to go with Curtis and Paul. I think Cameron's second. Third, I'm going to go with Edward. I think Edward could be up there as well. And Bran. I think Bran will get fourth. I think he's got the pace to be up there. As I did say, he's consistent. So maybe some decent lap times on the board from him could set him up there. We'll have to wait and see what he can do for his first round this season, due to him missing the first round at Austria. So this will be his round number 2 at China. As the countdown has begun then, so 26 seconds on the clock. Obviously, if everybody ready up, we just go straight in. And obviously the reserves for today is both Ferraris, Big Boy Jern, who's raced for an IRL, and Liam, and also Vizier, as fortunately Alex can't make it today. Hopefully he can make it back for round number 3, which I believe is Qatar. Yes it is, so Qatar will be next after China. New track in F1, a new track for the drivers to see if they can handle the circuit. We're now loaded in while people pick their tyre allocations. Maybe some people maybe choosing the softer tyre option, harder or even balanced. I think the normal strategy around here will be medium to hard. But you never know, you might see a 2-stop for some of the quick guys if they can pull it off. Well, 15 seconds remaining and we go into the qualifying session as we went for Bran and Ferguson then. Just Bran now. That's 4 seconds on the clock. So we're in the qualifying session now, so we're going to get all the telemetry up then for round number 2, and Cam has retired and left the session. Why is that? Interesting. Okay, he's not participating in qualifying then, so he's going to start the back gear unless he's had an issue or something. We'll keep an eye on the general chat to see any information. But right now then, we're waiting for people to leave the pit lane. And as I said, the only penalties from last week, so look, steered findings, was Liam. Liam was the only guy who had an incident. And then a penalty added to his time. As I said, both Autoris then leaving the pit lane, so they're desperate to get a flying lap underway. There's my controller, he's running out of charge there. Alfie then, and Cameron leaving the pits. Set some banker lap times for the first runs. You never know, Cameron this season could be the back-to-back drivers champion, as he did win it last season and beat Bran up to it. Bran, yet again, obviously was a runner-up. Third time run-up as a champion for a championship run. But as Cam says, he lagged out, but he also retired. I don't know, as AlphaTauris are there in formation, as we can see there. Side by side, maybe they realise I am commentating on them right now. Who is going to be in front of another then? Alfie will be the first one then to begin a flying lap. Alfie, I believe he's getting ready for his lap. Unless Cam's going to get past him. Oh, he's going for it then. So Alfie then will be the first one to start a flying lap then at China as he comes into the second to last corner in the hairpin, where we can see plenty of opportunity overtaking moments there. As he now approaches the final corner, gets his lap set up perfectly there, get a decent exit, DRS activated, and let's go down turn number 1 then, approaching number 1, approaching the speed of 197 miles an hour, hits 197 into 1, goes down the gears slowly, bit of tap on the brakes there, tries to get the car rotated nice and tidy through 1, 2, into 3 now on the left hand. They've got to avoid that curve as much as you can, don't want to ride too much of it. Nice and tidy on the exit, through the gears quite easily, and he does have an Aston Martin just ahead of him. I think that is Ross there, who is moving out of the way there. Into the right hander, keeps the car under control, nice and tidy first sector. Let's see what he can do in the fast left and fast right, which then goes to a slow right hander and a double left. Let's see what he can do then. So hopefully Cam can get back into the session, as he's, I think there's a glitch with him, unfortunately. Then approaching at this end of sector 2 with a 51.3 there in the second sector. And Cameron has backed off his lap, so he's not finishing it. Then really picking up the pace, using all the battery he can, down the big long straight. As I said, plenty of overtakes are going to be happening down this straight today, especially how OP, slipstream and DRS is. A lot of drivers are going to have to manage the DRS into the hairpin corner, a bit late there on the brakes, but he gets the car under control. Now approaching the final corner now. Got to get it perfect. You don't want to make a mistake, don't even want to spin the car. And he keeps it under control to the line, and it's going to be a 1:31.445 as the provisional fastest lap for Paul. As here comes Lewis Curtis, he's going to light up the tiny sheets, and here he goes then, and it's a 31 flat there, 4/10 quicker than Alfie there, not a bad time on the board, as we're now going both with both Haas drivers then. I think Millam is the first one to set a lap, then it will be Lee Kelly. Here comes Millam then, to the line, it's a 30.9, so he's picking up the pace there, 200 points leader, and Lee Kelly moves into 4th with a 31.491, not bad times for both Haas drivers. Sonja then moves into 5th with a 32.4, Edward takes up position straight off him with a 31.6, and Ollie splits the 2 with a 31.7. Karen with the banker. Have a look, he's starting another flying lap then. We'll keep an eye on him as he goes on the lap, as we keep going down the times. Vizier in the McLaren with a 32.328 then, moves into P8 then at the present time. Lehman the 3rd with a 1:31 flat as well, so very close there to Curtis, but Millam currently the only one in the high 30s. I've got Cameron 2/10 up in the first sector. Purple also in the first sector as well. Let's see what he can do. He's got a lot of traffic ahead of him, so he's got to watch out for that. There's a Williams up the road, and somebody else just improved their time. Nice Brand there. Brand moved into P6 with a 31.561. Not a bad time there from him. As Cameron then into the double left-hander, keeps the car under control. The Alpine there completely off track, staying out of his way. Nice and tidy there from Cameron. Decent control of the car as he approaches sector 2, and that is 50.9 there. A lot quicker than what Alfie was in the second sector. So right now, Cameron is the quick AlphaTauris on the track at the present time. Now into the right-hander with the Beer Bank corner. Did tell me that he was struggling with traction at this zone, but he keeps under control this time around. Down the main straight he goes. DRS going to be activated. Let's see what speed he hits. Down the long straight. Let's see if he can take Paul as well. Approaching the speed now of 202 miles an hour. Brakes heavily into the hairpin. A bit early, I think, potentially on the time. Keeps the car under control though. Decent exit. Let's see what he can do now through the final corner. Or is he going to peel into the pits? No, he isn't. He's keeping it under control round the final corner. Let's see what time he can do. Is he going to take Paul? Is he going to do a 30.9? He does a 30.861. What a lap there from Cameron. Takes pole at the moment. Plenty of time left in the quali session then, as Mumford is on a flying lap right now. I thought he was on an off lap there, but he took third in Austria. Let's see what he can do then in the qualifying session, and he's going to go P9 there with a 31.743 there, 1,000th of a second quicker than Ollie Favell. So I'm on board with Fergus Wilson then in the Red Bull. Currently set a sector 2 of 51.1 it looked like there. Not a bad sector 2. Let's see what time he can set on the board then for the Red Bull. Currently Big Boy and Ross, Lordy, Ferg, Luke, Ushin and Tony. No lap time set at the present time. Nice tidy through the hairpin corner. And he goes into the pit lane, so he wasn't finishing that lap at all there. So what about Luke Baker then? We'll go on board with him. He scored his first points in Austria as a reserve, and he got a seat to McLaren because of it. Let's see if he can score more points this time round. That's not a bad time through sector 2. Keeps the car under control, nice and tidy in the McLaren. Ooh, almost goes off the track there, almost could have invalidated there, but the sector 2 is a 52.9. It's a bit off the pace there. I don't know if he actually is harvesting. He might be harvesting. No, he's definitely not harvesting. He's definitely on a lap. I went down the back straight he goes. Remember, Cameron has done a 30.8. Only 2 drivers in the 30s right now. We'll go on Big Boy Duran, who will be next up. Then it will be the Mercedes, I believe, of Ocean, who just set a lap of a 43.7. And definitely going to be on another quick lap. As Tony as well is in the background, starting lap as well. But here comes Luke Baker then. Round the final corner he goes then. See what time he can set on the board as a banker lap. Keeps the car under control. And the time's going to be a 134.309, moves 13th quickest. Although Big Boy Duran, as he got the pace to match for pole then in the Ferrari, makes a little mistake there through the final corner. It's going to be close to a 32.2 there. Only goes 11th quickest in the end. What about Tony then? Is he on a time lap? Currently sector 2 is a 51.167. Down the back long straight he goes as Ross there is passing an Alfa Romeo in sector 2 at the present time. That's Tony then going down the back straight. Putting speed of 202 miles an hour, almost to 203 there, slightly into the hairpin. Maybe a bit more straight line speed compared to the other drivers there. Tony then, doesn't get a good exit through that final hairpin, and he's not going to be happy with that as he peels into the pit lane. As we're on board with Ushin, who did improve his lap then, and he's not back on another lap. He did 31.9 then, moving to P11. What about Alfie then? Is he on a time lap? No, he's run out of fuel and peeling into the pits. As we're going to go on board, is that Ollie Favell? It is Ollie Favell then. Let's have a look then. From the Jersey man himself. Been in IRL a couple of times before in the past and had some decent results. Will he be able to get a good result for today? And then through the final corner then he approaches to start his second flying lap. His first time is a 31.744, only 1,000 off Munford. Currently in 10th place. Let's see what he can do then. Watching through turn 1, nice and tidy then he goes. To go on board view then. Has to lift off the throttle completely there just to get the rotation. Probably going to lost a bit of time there. Through 2, not that bad. Could have been a bit better, but he keeps it under control. Now he goes into the end of sector 1 now, approaching the next hairpin, right-hander, and it's a 23.9, apparently purple sector 1, don't know if that is true. Let's see what he can do then in the second sector then, through the quick section of a left and a right-hander. Rides that curb completely with the left-hand side of the car. Now on the right-hand side he goes, avoids the curb altogether, now into the double left, keeps the car under control, nice and tidy, no wheel spin, nothing like that, no twitches or anything on the car at the moment. Decent sector 2. Let's see what his sector 2 time is. 51.4, currently a 10th slower than Alfie's sector 2 on his first lap. However, is he getting a bit of cheeky slipstream from Brand? These two are good friends, one another. Let's see if it happens then, and he is getting a bit of slipstream, and it's working perfectly for the team. Brand's found another good teammate who's going to do slipstream for both of them, hopefully. And Brand's giving a lot of it for him, for Ollie Favell then. Down the straight, approaching the speed of 206 miles an hour then. Into the brackets when he goes then. Into the hairpin. Nice and tidy, under control. Keeps the car nice and tidy. Feathers the throttle. Gets away beautifully there compared to what Tony did earlier on. Now approaching the final corner now. Decent exit, coming to the line. Let's see what it's going to be. Is it going to be a 30? It isn't, but it's going to be 6th with 31.345. Not a bad lap there. Moves into 6th position. As Russ Denholm just sets a lap then, or done it then, 33.589 then, moves into 15th. Oh, Fergus Wilson there loses the car on the double left-hander. Lewis Curtis there sets a bloody hell. What a lap there from Lewis Curtis, a 30.6 there, and takes provisional pole. Not a bad time from the Williams driver. Now let's have a look at the other Williams. It's Edward then, through turn 1 and 2. I believe he is on another lap. Believe he is. Let's have a look then. He's got 68% of his battery, and yes, he is on another time lap then. Let's see what he can do in the first sector then. And that's a 23.7, not purple. 3/10 up on his present time. That'll be a low 31 at the moment if he set a time only 3/10 up. Let's see what his second sector can do then. As there's yellows in sector 1, I'm guessing that's a Ferrari going slowly, letting one of the Mercs through. I believe Lordy is on a flying lap. I'll tell you a driver who's definitely not on a flying lap, that's Fergus Wilson. A 50.8 in the second sector, not a bad lap time in the second sector for Edward there. And is he getting a bit of cheeky slipstream there from his teammate Lewis Curtis? We saw it from Brandon Ollie, perfect teamwork. Now it's going to be Lewis and Edward following the same trick, and down the straight he goes then with the slipstream. I think it's perfect timing. They're going to maximise the slipstream, maximise the DRS, and maximise the speed down this back straight. And Lewis pulls alongside, 206 miles an hour yet again down the straight for Edward then, and Ollie, as he's nice tidy into the hairpin, same as Ollie fell there. Let's see what he can do in the final corner. Is he going to match Brand? Is he going to be quicker than him? Because Brand's on the 31.2. Now let's see what Edward can do. It's coming to the line, and it's P2 there. Williams a 1-2 at the moment, a 30.738 there. Not a bad time for the Williams pairing at all. This was like Austria. They had some strong pace and quality. Hopefully they can turn this into the race. Lordy though, he's getting ready to start a flying lap. We can see a Haas just waiting in the background, and he's got to watch out for that Aston, because that Aston could be on a lap as well. We'll go on board him actually. I think it is Tony. It is Tony. He is on the lap. Doesn't make a mistake like he made earlier in the hairpin corner. He's going to get a cheeky bit of slipstream, maybe a bit of toe. Nope, he peels into the pits, so he's given up on that lap. Let's go on board with Lloyd then. Starts his flying lap then, as his banker is currently at 47.4. Get around, so even though couldn't get a lap time set and retired, he's currently in 18th. It's Ferguson and Tony, no lap times set on the board. And it's only Lordy who hasn't set a proper lap yet, but let's see what he can do then. Nice and tidy exit. Decent car control through turn 1, 2 and 3 now. Approaching the first hairpin right. And he's 1.4 seconds up in his first sector, so he definitely messed up with the traffic earlier on. Now approaching the fast left-hander there, keeps the car foot to the floor in gear 6, up to 7th then. Back down to 6, drops to 5th gear in the right-hander. Now he's got a double left, got to go to 3rd. Keeps it in there, maybe short shift to 4th maybe for the exit. No, he holds it in 3rd a bit later there than I would have done, but obviously Lordy will know better. However, through the second sector, the 52.233, 2.3 seconds up on his first provisional time. A Mumford's left the session. Now, hopefully he can get back into the lobby as soon as possible, as a couple of drivers are having issues with the serves at the moment. And then Lordy then down at the back straight. I don't expect him to do 206 miles an hour with no slipstream. Now let's see what speed he can drop down with the Mercedes, and it's going to be at least 202, 203 miles an hour, so it's only a 3 mile an hour difference with DRS, with battery and slipstream as well then, so it's only not that much of a difference, to be honest. Now then, let's see what Lordy can do then. Into the final corner, let's see what his proper lap time is going to be then. Let's see where the Mercedes can go, and it's to the line, and it's currently in 14th with a 32.459. Not a bad time there from Lordy. As Fergus and Tony still in the pit lane. Oh, big boy Dewan might be on a lap. No, he's not. I don't believe he is. And Ollie Favell, I believe, is the Alfa Romeo on and out lap. He is. Anybody else on a flyer? No. I'll get ready to go on board with big boy Dewan then. So big boy Dewan will be the first one at this group to set another lap. I was just trying to find out if Mumford's all good, if he can get back into the lobby. Hopefully he can. There's 2 minutes remaining in the session. Hopefully there's not an issue. I think Big Boy Jarrett lighting up those rear end on the Ferrari, and he peels into the pits. I'd have gone back out, but he decided to peel in the pits then. Ollie. Let's go on board with him again then. We saw his time earlier with Slipstream. Brian isn't that far ahead. He's got a Mercedes ahead of him. So he's got to watch out for traffic. That probably hindered him a little bit. I'm not saying the Merc got in his way, but probably distracted him to get the rotation there. But it was a better rotation this time from Ollie Favell. as he's going through turn number 3 now. Decent exit, keeps the car under control, foot to the floor. And let's see what his first sector time is there. And the Alpha and the McLaren not that far ahead. It's only 300s up on his time at 23.9 there. Yellow's in sector 2. That's Brand going slower. I'm guessing for the slipstream for Ollie. Now, unfortunately, the fast left-hander then. Foot to the floor, yet again, holds it in 6th. Completely there, doesn't go up to 7th. Goes back down to 5th then. Into the right-hander, into the double left now. Gets the car under control. Nice and tidy on the lap so far. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him, the McLaren and the Alpha. Is he going to get a cheeky double toe then from the McLaren and the Alpha here? I know he's going to get one off his teammate, but is the McLaren pulling away? The McLaren is pulling away, so he ain't going to get a cheeky double toe. But I then is setting the pace right now. Runs a bit wide. Or was that Bran? And Mumford has retired from the session then, so I'm guessing he is back in the lobby. Oh, then DRS active 207 miles an hour, 208 miles an hour now. Quickest down the back straight. Big Wood Jr. is now retired. He's called it a day in quality, so he's staying in 12 unless people beat his time. Ollie then, not bad through the hairpin. Let's see what he can do finally on the final run. And it's to the line, and it's going to be a 6th position right now. 31-1 there, couldn't get in the 30s. Not a bad time as I'm trying to select a driver, but it won't let me. We're going to go on the old man, Sondra Sohaug, currently in the 2nd sector. Let's see what it is, and it's going to be a 51.5 there, 4.5 tenths up on his present time, and apparently it's a purple sector 2, and I don't think it will be a purple sector 2, but, you know, Sondra could surprise me here. Now down at the back straight then, let's see what he can do. As you've got the Aston in the background, as we see a Williams driver coming close to the line. That could be Curtis. We'll keep an eye on the times, as quali has officially ended then. So anybody's time will be official. And bad lap there in the hairpin from Sondre. And Curtis sets a new fastest lap there. 30.541. Not a bad time there from Curtis. Let's see what Sondre can do. Is he going to be anywhere near that? And it's going to be a 32.236. Moves to 13th then. Not a bad time. And the Aston, I believe that was Ross. Yes, it was. As we go on board with the Ferrari. If I can quickly get on board with Liam, he's now coming to the time. He looked like he got the win last week. Unfortunately, due to a penalty, he missed it. But this time, he's in 2nd position for the start of the race at the moment. Millen only gets 5th. Sorry, Lee only gets 5th. What about Millen? Is he going to be challenging for anything? 4th at 30.832 there. Does improve his time. What about Oshin? Is he up on his time? I don't believe he is. There's a Red Bull going slowly. Bavazia is next to set a quick lap. And he has invited, but it would have been a 32.172. Would have been ahead of Sondre. What about Tony? Down the back straight he goes. A 50.9 in the 2nd sector apparently. Let's see what he can do then. Into the hairpin corner he goes. Keeps the car under control, nice and tidy. Doesn't lose the rear end like he did earlier on his lap. Is he going to finish it? He is now round the final corner, but he invalidates it. No, he's going to start the back of the grid in 20th. And he had no time to say. I didn't see the time, unfortunately. But he's going to be kicking himself with that. Just made a little error. Too much speed in the last corner. And just invalidates. Bit of shame there for Tony. Now then, this is your official qualifying session then. Curtis then on pole with a 30.541. Curtis then looking strong for China. Apparently he's put a lot of practice for today. Liam then in 2nd in the Ferrari with a 30.676, with Edward in 3rd. The Williams drivers all looking quick. Bran in 4th, 30.7. Millam in 5th with a 30.832, with Cameron Young, the defending champion, in 6th with a 30.8 as well, with Lee Kelly in 7th. IFL 8th. Alfioli in 9th, Mumford 10th, then beats his teammate yet again, Sondre Sohaug. Ocean then in 11th, Big Boy Jew in 12th, Sondre 13th, Bivazia in 14th, Ross Denholm or Donut Denham in 15th, then Lodi not that far off with a 32.458 in 16th, Luke Baker 33.528 there, 2nd off Lodi's time, and the only guys to not set lap times there was Fergus and Tony. And the skies are looking pretty cloudy at the present time. I don't know if it is raining, but there could be a threat of rain later in the race, which we have seen before. We did see it at Portimao, where the rain did turn up very late on, and it was rain all the way to the end of the race. While we wait for drivers to pick their strategy calls, pick their tyres, sort their fuel loads, I think we are green light to go as well, so I don't think any issue with the drivers. I think the drivers who did disconnect managed to get back into their session. Just hopefully they can get back into their cars. As my race prediction, I'm going to go with Lewis. I think Lewis has got it, unless he makes a major mistake, which I don't think he'll do. I think he's got the pace there to win. And I'm going to go with Liam again in second. I think Liam's got the pace to get second. Third, I'm going to go with Cameron. I think Cameron's going to get through the field quite easily. Just like a nice knife through top ball, really. Slice through it. Hot knife through butter. And I'm going to go with Edward fourth. I think Edward would be a fourth. I think he'll lose a position off the line and probably make a mistake, but I could be wrong. Then 5 red lights then for round number 2 at China, and we are underway, and it looks like Lewis Curtis has had an okay start. Liam's had a decent start. What a start from the Ferrari, and he takes the lead into 1, and the Williams of Curtis drops in the second. Now Edward under threat by Brand. He's been under threat for him before in the championship now, so Brand now makes a mistake. Now here comes Cameron Young. He's now making a move round the outside potentially. Brand trying to shoot him wide a little bit. Cameron can't get the rotation, can't get the grip, can't get the car under control to get the move done there. Now he's under threat by Lee Kelly yet again. These two have been at it. They've been at it at Portimao, they've been at it at Austria, but here comes Cameron Young, makes a move on Brand there into the right-hander and moves into 4th. So there's a bit of contact yet again between Brand and Cam there, and luckily no incident at the moment. Actually, yeah, there is an incident. That is Big Boy June in the background with a McLaren. That is Bavazia as well, and look at Lee and Millam now going side by side. Haas pair and do not want to collide as they're trying to make a move on on Brand there, as Alfa Male has dropped behind, and Ross then has potentially been involved in the crash, I think, as he was dropping places. But Brand is holding his own to Lee Kelly as there's fights all over in the background there. The Alpine of Sodra Sog getting absolutely destroyed in the background by Tony, who's had a crack of a start as well. Moving into 14th, he's flying in the Aston right now, as Ross is probably out of it. Both, that was synchronised there between Ross and Sondre. Both make a mistake there, and Tony says thank you very much, and that was an easy overtake there through the right-hander. As Ushin drops to 17th, Lordy moves up to 14th, and we can see there Cameron Young, Lee Kelly and Brandon scrapping away in 5th position. And Millam sending it cheeky on the inside, potentially Lee trying to go on it, side by side. They're going now through the final corner. They go, are they going to keep under control? Are they going to avoid contact? Yes, no, they're not. They get a bit of contact on the final part there. Liam sets the fastest lap there, the 37.8. It's all kicking off on lap number 1. As we start lap number 2 then. Haas versus Alfa Romeo, even the teammates are squabbling away for position, and Lee then runs a bit wide. Millam now making the move on the inside. Alfioli not that far in the background there. He's had a bit of contact in Austria with the Haas team, but he doesn't want to repeat that as he makes a mistake there through turn 2 and 3. Keeps the car under control on the exit there. Mumph then does get control back of his car. He is in 9th right now, currently just ahead of Oliver, and apparently the one stop is a medium to soft. I doubt that's possible. I think it's hard medium. However, there is still threat of rain, potentially, as now we can see Mumford now under threat by Oliver around the outside, and we see Fergus Wilson in the background, potentially making it 3 wide. As the cars are now starting to split up a little bit in their own little gap trains, and we can see Ollie there fighting with Mumford there for P9, and look at Fergus Wilson, very optimistic, making the move, trying to get it almost out of crash there. Mumford probably not going to be happy with that potential overtake there, as Ross then drops to 14th as Lordy makes the move. Oh, and Fergus yet again, bit of contact with Ollie Favell, lost the rear end, and Ollie drops all the way down the grid yet again. Ollie Favell has been involved in some controversy from one of the drivers, and we can see a fight really heating up. Brandon is under threat, and it looks like Lee Kelly is about to make the move without DRS. He's picking up the speed, as I've just realised that telemetry isn't on, but we'll quickly sort that out as he makes a move round the outside potentially. No, it does the switchback. Very clever there from Lee Kelly, trying to get the grip. Brand struggling with the grips on the hard tyres at the moment. They're going side by side yet again through the final corner. Lee learnt this time not to hold it round the outside. Gets a cracking exit. And what an overtake from Lee Kelly there. Moves into P5. And what a move it is. And Brand's going to be frustrated with that, as he drops to P6 then on his debut race this season. As Miller now is looking for potential opportunity to make the move. Brand though covers him off at the moment though. Now back to the battle up the front. Liam is in the lead with a gap of 1.2 seconds. Edward second and Lewis Curtis in third. Yellows are yet again in sector 1. That is Ollie Favell going slowly. And he drops now into 19th. And I think Ollie might be calling it a day. I hope he isn't. I hope he does carry on. And yes, he is. He is in P20 though. However, we're going to go aboard with Ross now. Ross and Cameron Armstrong and Ushin. Ushin doesn't want to be in this fight. Ushin's usually a lot quicker. They said, look at Ross there. What is Donut Denham doing? He's whacking Cameron Armstrong and he just takes him out. Very silly there from the Aston. That'll probably be investigated from the pair. And, well, I think Ross knows he's in a bit of trouble. Let's Ushin just go. So, definitely going to be investigated there by the stewards, as Ushin then moves into P13. Have a look back to the action up front. We've got to go back on board with Bran. He's got DRS, but he's losing time to lead. He's now started DRS. Edward and Curtis have now switched positions now. And here comes Millen. Millen now, another Haas driver, goes through, but Brand's probably thinking, you know what, let him go, just let him pull me along, try and save the battery as much as I can, and let's see where the strategy comes into later in the race, potentially. As Lloyd now moves to 11th, but there's been contact in the background, and that's Donut Denham doing donuts into the hairpin corner then, and he drops it further behind, and into 17th, now under threat by Cameron Armstrong, and I hope Cameron doesn't take him out, and he doesn't. Cameron moves into P17 then. Back to the fight as Mumford then, into the pit lane, as he potentially had a bit of contact with Ross then. Into the pits he goes, and that isn't a new front wing, but he's going on the hard tyres, so maybe he's thinking, you know what, let's pit, get any set of hard tyres on, and let's just go to the end. As the clouds look like they are disappearing, and we're starting to get some clear skies, so it looks like the threat of rain isn't at the moment. Right now, though, back to the fight for the lead. Lap number 4, Liam did have a 1.2 second gap. Right now, Curtis is picking up the pace. The gap is 0.8 of a second at the present time. Edwards in it, so is Cameron. So we have 4 cars at the moment. Potentially 6 cars if Lee can get in there. Maybe even more than that. Maybe even 9 cars fighting for the battle for the lead. But Lee needs to pick up the pace. Currently 1.5 seconds off Cameron. Potentially he might think, you know what, let's just let Millen go, as he's struggling for the rotation, struggling for the grip, and I think he's letting him through. He's letting his teammate go, and Millen then moves into P5. Lee drops to 6th, but he can't. Oh, a bit of contact there between the Haas drivers there. Maybe Lee wasn't actually letting him go at all. Maybe it was just a mistake in the end there. Couldn't get the throttle down as they're fighting. Slipstream down the straight, but look at Brand now. He's getting optimistic. He's coming down, approaching the hairpin, but braked a bit early to avoid running into the back end of the Haas, as we don't want to damage your front wing there. As one lap 4. Plenty of action still going around, as we can see fights further behind between the Cameron Armstrong and Bavazia, and look at Ross then, making a double overtake now on the McLaren and the Red Bull. Side by side they go then into the hairpin, but look at McLaren and Bavazia. He's now potentially going to make it 3 wide. Nope, he stays behind. Let these two go side by side. Potentially have a bit of contact. Cameron Armstrong slows down, but right now they keep it under control. I don't think Bavazia is finished yet, or Cameron Armstrong. But Cameron Armstrong needs to save his battery. He's got nothing left. As like Ian Beale said on each stand, there's nothing left at all. Oh, then Edward trying to catch up with Lewis and trying to keep up that slip from his. Fergus Wilson now moves to 8th. Alfie drops to 9th. Trying to keep on the action all over the place. There's fights all over. Look, Lee is struggling to keep up with Cameron. So is Millen now. Gap is 2.2 after that little switcheroo. So maybe Millen hasn't got the pace to try and challenge for the top 4 at the moment. So Millen is probably thinking, well, not going to be in the lead for the Drivers' Championship anymore. But right now then, Liam in the lead. Lewis Curtis 2nd. Edward 3rd. Cameron 4th. Millen in 5th. Lee Kelly 6th. Brandon Glover in 7th. Fergus Wilson in 8th. And Alfie in 9th. And Tony in 10th. That is your top 10 positions gained, as I will put up now on the screen. And let's just say Fergus and Tony are in double digits of positions gained there, not bad. And the biggest loser of today is between Olifel and Mumford, double digits of positions lost. However though, right now the gap is starting to heat up. I'm trying to go on board with the leader, if it lets me select him quick. As I saw Brandon there actually making a move on Fergus, I just missed that. Fergus there made the move there on Bran. Oh, bit of a mistake there from Fergus. Oh, and Bran gets a bit of a whack there. I don't know if that was a mistake. Okay, what is he doing? You can't. Got to be careful. You can't go driving side to side like that. You only make one defensive move, and that was, I would say, 2, unless you lost the rear or something. Ferguson's got to be careful. He's been involved in controversy before in past seasons with this. And Brandon is definitely not going to be happy with that overtake. And I don't know what Fergus is doing. We're going to stay on board with him. And I would like Fergus Wilson there was looking about to run into the back end of the AlphaTauri there. Keep an eye on the action up front, but we're going to stay on board with this fight then. Brandon is right on the gearbox of the Red Bull. Okay. I'm lost for words now. I think Ferguson is driving like a baboon. I don't know why he's being an idiot. I do apologise, but there's no need to try and swipe somebody off the road and Brown's just losing the rear. And I wonder if Brown's got damage, because now Tony's making a move. And the thing is, we don't want incidents with the drivers where potential incident has happened between another driver and somebody else gets collected. Now, battle for the lead. We've got to go on board with it. Liam drops the second, tries to get the switcheroo on Curtis back around. Curtis gets the exit, but Curtis isn't going to get DRS now. Liam versus Curtis then into the final corner. Got headed right behind him. Camera dropping off a bit. Liam then picking up the pace then. He's now starting to catch up. Is he burning? No, he isn't. But he's trying to make the move, and Fergus peels into the pit lane. I think he's going to retire, potentially. I don't want him ruining anybody else's race, but nope, he's carrying on. Oh, look, back to the action up front. Liam, Ferguson's gone soft, right. Liam then has decided to catch up with Lewis to try and make a move into their pit. No, but Edward is, and Edward sent it a bit late. Maybe Liam wasn't expecting it. Bit of contact. Keeps it under control, nice and tidy through the exit though, and Cameron is probably loving this now. Having a front seat to this, as Liam holds his own there. Shows Edward up, saying you've got to do better than that. And Edward is still going, trying to get potentially move onto the double left-hander, but he's got to watch out. Any mistake he makes, Cameron is going to be straight in there making that move. Right now though, top four, the only positions which have changed between them two, Lewis back into the lead, Liam into second. Using Cam moves into 15th as them two and Ross are scrapping away in the background, but we've got to keep an eye on the action up front. Actually, hang on a minute, I think we're 3 wide almost there, it looked like, between Ollie Favell. Oh look, Ollie moves up position, back to Liam then. DRS is active, down at the back straight he goes, and Lewis is in danger. Lewis has got Edward, he has got Liam fighting right behind him there. Liam trying to go around the outside, trying to make it work. Curtis leaves him plenty of space there. Respectful driving from the pair, but Liam has got the inside into the final corner, and he shoves him off wide there a little bit there. A bit of contact, and now Edward is probably thinking, right, let him make a mistake, a bit more contact, but no, Edward's going for it. He's making the move and moves into P2. And does he hold it? It looks like he does. Cameron's trying to slot his nose into that side there. He's getting it, but oh no, he can't get it in the end. Not enough alongside and not enough speed to get through that corner safely there. It's a Haas pairing, 5th and 6th of Millam and Lee Kelly holding their own from Alfie, Tony, Brand, Lodi and Ushin. Right now, as the gaps are starting to get a bit bigger, the action is starting to slow down as well, but there's a lot of fights on track still. As Mumford is trying to do a recovery drive, currently in 20th, 27.1 seconds, so he did have to pit again, it looks like. I love Edward into second. So Williams pairing, as I said, all looking very strong, but look at the grip difference Liam had there into the double left. He's right on the gearbox of Edward. Or is Edward now doing what Brand did last season, just completely slowing down? You've got to be careful moving under braking there. I don't think he did, but it was very close between them two. It could have been a nasty crash for even Cameron as well, could have been collected between Edward and the Ferrari. Sondre picks up his first time penalty. He's first at Austria, he's first again at China. Will he get 12 seconds or will he only get 3? Liam going for the outside. The Williams and the Ferrari side by side just leaving Cameron in the dust there. Cameron's got to be careful that he doesn't get out of DRS. Edward, now he's got the inside. Maybe he's going to show the same treatment the Ferrari gave Curtis. I know the Ferrari was smart, decided to back off in the end, gets a better exit because of this. Defending again, that is his defence, and here comes Liam, makes the move. Liam now switches to potentially on the inside. He's not making an overtake on the inside of Curtis, is he? He's trying to get the car rotated. He's trying to get the car alongside Curtis. Curtis has got to watch out for the rotation of the Ferrari. Curtis holds his line. Now Cameron and Edward are looking in the wings as well. As we see Cameron Armstrong and Ollie Favell fighting in the background for P15 at the present time as well. It's really heating up for the top 4. And right now anything can happen. Like even a crash could happen and we could see Lee or Millen win the race. So they're still on the hard tyres, and there has been an incident, I believe, or not. That is because June into the pit lane then. So even into the pits from the hards, it looks like. He's gone on, so maybe it's time for the mediums to pit potentially. I don't know. I don't think the mediums need to pit as of yet. Oh, Edward touches the rear end of the Ferrari. As Curtis pulls away a little bit now. Gap 7/10, but Cameron this time has said, you know what, let's get behind these. We need to make moves. And you can potentially see like, the gap between Lee hasn't really increased that much. Gap currently 2.8 seconds at the present time. It's slowly going down as there's yellows in sector 2. That is Cameron Armstrong. He is out, and that is a safety car. So the safety car then has neutralised his race altogether, but it's going to be kind of helping the guys on the hard tyres. The medium runners now, like Lodi, Ollie, especially Mumford, and now Fergus Wilson as well, now can all go on the hard tyre. They potentially could go to the end of the race. Around here. I know the tyre wear can be effective a little bit, around the tracks, and China isn't the best with tyre, but Hards surely can go to the end, especially if they've done 8 laps. And Curtis in the pit lane then. Ooh, he almost does a Hamilton. He almost does a Hamilton. And that would have been a face of red if he did that. Curtis then in the pits. I'll tell you one thing though, Cameron is going to jump Edward due to this double stack. And Millam ain't going to be really happy with this either. He's going to be held up. As we now can see Edward getting his pit stop. Yep, he's lost position to Cam. And he's also lost position to Lee, so it's a double position loss. Tony moves up to 6th. Alfie in 7th, Brian in 8th, Millam into 9th, and Sondre then into his pit box then, as Lodi moves up to 10th on the medium compound of tyre. I'm wondering if there is rain then, because I would have gone hards to the end. Because I believe, if I remember correctly, Lodi was already on the mediums. As some information actually, Cameron Armstrong isn't happy with Ross Denholm. With that contact he had early on in the race. As Ross then serves, he went over the white line a little bit with his tyre. He rejoined in 18th then. Mumford in the pits then. I think he's decided, let's go hard tyres, let's go to the end. I think best strategy all together for Mumford. Him, Ollie, Fergus. I don't know why Zia has gone soft tyres, because there's no way the softs are lasting 18 laps. It's just impossible. There's no way they're lasting that long. But then Mumford, if he can catch the safety car with enough time, could be in a good shout to get some points, as long as he avoids any contact with any other driver and avoids any incidents up ahead. Curtis up on the lead on the safety car. Hasn't got to worry about his teammate. However, he's got to worry about Cameron, Lee, and Liam on the restart. So it is probably a bit worrying to see Liam right on the tail, as Liam has got some strong pace as well. Same with Cameron. Cameron has had some strong pace all weekend. As Mumford is typing in the chat. As safety car will be going around for a couple of laps then. As Luke Baker's decided to go back in the pits. I'm guessing he didn't serve his stop. No, he's the only one who didn't pit. Well, Luke Baker then in the pits, and he's going to drop all the way to the back. With Vizia made a mistake then, so the McLaren crew made a mistake with him from the soft tyres. Luke's going mediums. What about Vizia? Is he going mediums as well? And the answer is yes, he is. No wing change, no damage to the car. Medium tyres on the car, and he's underway. He's going to get ahead of Mumford. So he has lost a couple of positions due to that. A couple of people staying on the hard tyres then. So, Big Boy June, Ollie Favell, Fergus and Mumford then staying on the hard compound. Everybody else is on fresh mediums. That's one lap. Number 11 then, the safety car. As we've had a lot of fights from everybody, a lot of close racing as well between a couple of the groups, between the top 4, some guys in 8th from 10th, and also positions from 14th to 17th. We've had some close fights as well. So a bit of dodgy racing from a couple of drivers as well, Ross and Fergus. Potentially going to be looked at in the stewards from their driving, especially Brian will report the Red Bull. But yeah, right now though, focus is on lap number 12. Hopefully we can restart. The safety car is going to be in this lap then, so Mumford's got enough time just to catch up then. And he has cut up to the back of the McLaren, and Curse is already getting ready to slow the field down to get this race underway on lap number 12. Is Curtis finally going to take a race victory? Is he finally going to take the top step of the podium this weekend? Well, he's got 17 laps to do it. But it's not going to be easy, as I said. He's got a lot more of a threat this season. I like it when he was teammates with Matthew, where Matthew just dominated it. Curtis then has gone. So he's gone a bit early. I wouldn't have gone then. I would have waited to the hairpin potentially, but he's gone, and Liam has stayed with him. It's left a couple of drivers in the back off guard between the McLaren and the Alpine, but Lewis then begins the race. Then we're back to green flag racing when we score the start-finish line, and it's a green, and Lewis Kirsten starts lap number 12 into the lead. As Liam trying to potentially make a move on alongside there, holds P2, Cameron in third, got Lee Kelly in fourth. These two have had some close racing, a bit of wheel buying the past races pre-season and first round. Edward in fifth and trying to make a recovery back into second. Tony has had an amazing race so far, was last, currently in sixth. Alfie trying to just get some points on the board for the team as Brandon under pressure. Millen picking up the pace already on the safety car restart, trying to make a move potentially, going into the right hand of the hairpin, makes the move, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, but is it? But here comes Brandon then, coming back at him, the Alfa Romeo going around the outside, onto the left-hander. Is he going to make the move work? No, he's not. He has to switch back in the tour, but he isn't finished with him. Is he going to go on the right-hander? No, he's just waiting, following into the tour, trying to potentially get a good exit to get a good run through it, but can't at the moment. Millen looks a lot more comfortable with the medium compound at the moment in the Haas in 8th position. His next target is Alfioli in 7th, then it's Tony, then it's Edward to try and catch up with his teammate. Allo further behind, big boy Dewin then is currently got Ollie Favell right on his tail. Then it's Ross, then it's Fergus, and then further back is Luke Vizier and Mumford. Right then, trying his best, but keeping an eye on the action ahead as well. Lordy potentially making a move on Bran. But I'll tell you who's definitely making a move, Ollie Flavel. Here he goes then. And whoa, where did Ross come from? Ross through both of them, makes a double overtake. And big boy June locks the rear. And well, that must have been scary there for Ollie Flavel. Lewis Kurt sets the provisional fast lap, 33.657. But Ross there, that straight line speed was ridiculous. And he makes a double overtake on the straight. Ollie is completely out of DRS range already, currently 1.1 seconds behind Ross. Fergus though, right behind him. Now Fergus had a bit of issue with Bran earlier on. Hopefully he's calmed down. Deciding, you know what, let's carry on with this. Plenty of time to get some points. See what we can do for Red Bull, as he's the only Red Bull on track right now since his team is out. Luke and Vizier are fighting in the background there. Luke just couldn't get the traction, and Vizier makes the move. And Luke then into 18th. Hello, Tony, Edward trying to get back in that slipstream for the fight for the lead. Edward's not that far off within the second window, but Edward right now just doesn't look like he has the pace. Lee Kelly is using the slipstream, using a bit of his battery on lap number 13, a bit more to try and break away from Edward, and he's doing it, but it's not enough at the moment. It's currently a second, further behind. Ollie Favell's made a move. Ross has either made a mistake or lost it, as these two are now going side by side. And Fergus Wilson, and as we get a dodgy camera angle, still going side by side into the back corner. Got to watch out though for Millen as well. He's potentially making a move. We've got to go on board with it. Side by side to go into the hairpin. We'll go back on board with Fergus Wilson and Ross in a second. Alfie looks like he's got it back on board with the Red Bull and the Aston, and into the hairpin corner. DRS speed enabled. Leaves his new fastest out at 33.616. As well, he's now trying to challenge for Kurtz, and he's pulled away out of DRS range for Cameron. Cameron then has got to fight it back. Alfie then does drop the position from Lewis Millen there, too many L's. Lewis Millen then moved in the 7th and trying to catch up with Tony then, currently a second up the road. He can do it. Although Cameron, got to get back in that slipstream, got to get back in that DRS range, and got to stay with the Ferrari, because if he doesn't, he's going to be mincemeat when Lee Kelly's right on his tail. Liam up, just chilling. Actually, he's not chilling. He's completely drained his battery. What is he playing at the moment? 6% left on his battery, while Curtis only has 13. Cameron is actually playing it a bit smarter than I thought he was actually doing. I thought the drivers had plenty of years ahead. They actually don't. Cameron's now starting to burn it a little bit. 33% on the car at the moment. Currently trying to catch up with the Ferrari. He is back within DRS range. He just needs to chill out now. Save the most battery he can. Stay within that DRS range. And eventually, when he saves enough, he can make the overtakes easy peasy lemon squeezy down the straight and just fly past them. But right now then, Liam trying to catch Curtis with little battery he's got left. Has he got enough straight line speed? The answer is no. Well, yes he has, but he decided to lift off there. Bit of a strange call to do that. I'm going to go further behind, just make sure there's no overtake for Vizier, potentially making a move on the Ferrari for 16th there. And the McLaren is going for it. 204 miles an hour down the long straight. And he's going alongside into the hairpin. The Ferrari gives him plenty of space. Very respectful there from Big Boy Durant. Brazil then moves into P16. Now look, OP Liam, as Brazil gets a 3-second lap exceeding track limits, then must exceed through the final corner. The Mercs then currently fighting it out for 10th. Sondre Sohaug not that far behind in 12th. Remember, he's got a 3-second penalty, so if he did get past him, he would have to build a 3-second gap. Now look, back to what it was earlier, 4-car fight for the lead. It is another 4-car fight for the lead, but it's 4 different teams. It's Williams, Ferrari, AlphaTauri and Haas, 2 Ferrari engine suppliers, 1 Mercedes supplier and 1 Red Bull powertrain. On lap number 15 then, Curtis is trying to pull away, trying to save as much battery as well while he's picking up the pace, but he can't do it right now. He's still under threat by Liam, 7/10, and it didn't work when he used the battery. Both got around about the same battery usage. Can we use a bit more now? He's down to 27%. He doesn't need to use the battery to stay with him. He's got enough later on in the stage of this race. Or is he worried that Lee Kelly potentially could be a threat? But he's in the same boat. 20% battery, not really a threat at the moment for Cameron, but these 4 are pulling away now from Edward. Gap is currently 1.9 seconds. So on lap 15, we'll be starting lap 16 very soon. As God damn it, the glitch with this bloody thing. Ollie and Ferguson then making a move, and we see behind a 3-wide overtake there between the McLaren, Aston and the Big Boy Durant. Switches to a 2-wide. The Brazil runs a bit deep. Oh, this is going to get messy. It is going to get messy a little bit there. Now they're still going 3-wide. There's no way they're going 3-wide into this hairpin. And Ross and Big Boy Durant very smart there to back off, but Ross isn't finished. Ross making a move, and he moves into P15. Donald Denham is flying right now, but look who is flying in the background. It's Mumford, who got 3rd at Austria. He's trying to get through this pack to try and catch up with the guys, to try and score a point this round for Alpine. He had a good result in Austria. He wants to maintain his point scoring ability this season. However, Ferrari, Big Boy Durant trying to hold his line on the inside. Bit of contact there. Wheels rubbing between the Alpine and the Ferrari. And he gets to move in the 7th. Big Boy Durant drops behind. But is Big Boy Durant going to make a late dive? No, he's not. He stays behind at the moment. And Brazil now on the tail of Ross Denham. Gap between 4th and 5th is now increased to 2.5 second. Gap to leader from Edward is 4 seconds. Edward has got no pace at all at the moment compared to the top 4. So maybe my prediction was completely wrong to see if he would get a podium today. But any bit of contact further up could happen. As right now, though, we're on the fight for 15th. We're keeping the action ahead as well, potentially, with Ollie Favell and Fergs. Oh, as Ross loses the rear, sliding the rear end a lot there. And Brazil makes move easy peasy there. And now the Red Bull Alpha going side by side. And he gets the move then done. And he's just not burning. Fergus, on the other hand, is using a lot of battery just to stay ahead. Ross makes the move. Mumford drops to 18th then with the guys behind switching around. And right now, Edward drops to 6th. Tony makes the move into P5. So now Tony's now going to be the one challenging to try and catch up with Lee Kelly. Gap 2.8 seconds. Caution in Sector 3. It's Bavizia. It is Donut Denham. They've had a bit of an incident. And another safety car has been intervened yet again. The drivers need to be more clean. And Mumford has left the session. Hopefully he can get back as soon as possible to get back in the pits. Get on some soft tyres or mediums potentially. As, Donut Denham almost went to the wall. As the McLarens and the Astons, both in the pits there. Another incident with Ross. This is 2 incidents now he's been in with. He had an incident with New Zealand camp. He's now had an incident with the McLaren. He has to be careful. He was like this at Austria. Had an incident with the Haas of Milan in quali. Didn't get reported. Nothing was investigated because it was a mistake. But either way, 3 incidents now in 2 rounds. He's got to be careful. Kirsten is not going to be that happy that a safety car, but he is going to get the benefit of recharging his battery, but so is everybody else. So it's a 50-50 situation there for Curtis. But is he going to make the pit stop potentially to go to the soft compound or a fresh set of mediums? There's no point going the hard tyres because, yes, the hards could easily make the distance. But if somebody else behind you has decent pace on those mediums, they can go to the end and win the race. So some of the guys who may have pit started on the mediums and went on mediums again, may be in a bit of trouble. I thought Friday was trying to make a move under the safety car there, but he isn't. As we'll see if Curtis does pit in the pits. As I wish I had a better camera view. There we go. As wait for the leader to catch up the safety car, and Luke, Vizier and Ross then have decided to go on the medium compound, and Curtis is in. So is Liam, so is Cameron, and Cameron almost goes a bit late there in the braking zone. Lee also in the pits as well, same with Tony, Edward, Millen, Alfie, Bran, Oshin, Lodi, everyone's peeling into the pits. Well, Liam in the box then, so Curtis. Curtis has been a bit lucky, he's on the end of the garage, so he's not going to get held up. And he's out again into the lead. Liam right behind. And Lee Kelly then gets a good pit stop, moves into third. Cameron drops to fourth. Tony holds his fifth position. Edward sixth. Millen in seventh. And Alfie is eighth. For some reason it says, oh, Mumford didn't pit. Mumford's AI didn't pit. Oh, he needs to get back in the lobby as soon as possible. But Alfie then in the ninth. Brand then in 10th. A couple of drivers decided, you know what, let's go to the soft compound and tyres. And Mumford has got back, but he needs to get into the pits ASAP. Tony then on the soft compound, same with Brand, same with Sondre and Laurie. They think, you know what, let's try it. We've got nothing else to lose. We could pit again, potentially for the mediums, I believe, because they started on mediums and they made a stop earlier on the mediums as well. So they have to go to that compounded tyre because there's no point going on the hards, just be completely off the pace and potentially not score any points. But they're also taking a risk. The risk is they have decent pace in the softs. They can have probably decent pace for 3 to 4 laps, but eventually those softs are going to die off and they will wear very high. And there's also chances for punches. Not saying it will happen, but there's always a possibility for the guys taking that risk. Tony, Bran, Sondre and Lodi are going to have that in their mind, but they are going to be quick. So everybody else decides to peel in the pits for mediums as well. Go on board with the race leader then. Safety car will do one more lap, I believe, round as long as the McLaren and the Aston and the other McLaren catch up. If they don't, it'll do another lap after that. So we should be theoretically back to green flag racing on lap 20 to 21. Maybe end of lap 19 potentially, but I'll have to wait and see. Potentially will be end of lap 19, starting lap number 20. As let's see what the guys can do. I'm wondering if actually the soft runners say, you know what, let's go soft, let's go back in the box. I wonder if some of them are going to do that. I wouldn't do that because you're going to lose a lot of track position. I don't think it would be smart to do that. As I said, it's risky going on these softs. They're going to be quick for 4 to 5 laps and then they're going to just be shredded. Actually, I'm going to go on board with Tony, make sure he's on pit. No, he's not pitting, so that strategy is definitely not happening. Mumford in the box though. He needs to. He was on the hards. He's got back control of his car. Let's see what tyres he does go on then. It's going to be an interesting strategy call for the Alpine. Because I'm now starting to lose my voice. In P14. Goes into the box then. And it is for the soft compound. And he's underway. So maybe he had a fresh set from quali. He's going to be back of the grid. But he's going to be quick on those softs. As I've said, those soft tyres are going to be lightning compared to the mediums. They could make it quite easily to the end, but they're going to be slow at the end. That's Luke Baker back in the pits. He gone back on mediums. What was he on? Oh, he was on mediums, so I wonder if he picked up some damage or something. But he decided to pit. I'm guessing some of the drivers won't be happy that he's decided to pit again because they probably want to go back under green flag race. And he's got to catch up the safety car as soon as possible this lap. Or we're going to have to be waiting for another lap for the safety car to come around. Curtis though, he's got it all to lose. As Brandon and Oshin have switched around. I hope that isn't a glitch. So I'm on board with that. I'm just going to check if Brandon was behind Oshin. No, Brand was ahead, so I shouldn't have switched positions. Maybe Ocean by mistake went ahead of him by mistake and went back. And Luke is catching up, but is it close enough for the safety car to go in? It would be a late call. We have seen later calls. We saw it at Austria where it was on the final corner where it went in. So now the safety car, I believe, is going to do another lap, and the Merc has now decided to slow down. Can't slow. Okay, the safety car is in this lap then. That is a late call, and that isn't going to help Curtis at all. potentially want to maybe hinder the guys behind him. But he's got to wait until that safety car's in that box. I hope it doesn't slow him down. Nope, he's gone, and he's bolted away then. Lap number 20, we go back to green flag racing, and Cameron Young making moves already. Moves into P3. Lee is fighting with him. Side by side they go then. Hopefully no contact. Hopefully no spinneroos then between these two. A bit of contact though. Cameron can't avoid Haas at the moment. Can't avoid him at all this season. There's always been a bit of wheel banging between the two. I happen to put him out. Happened at Austria. Cautions in sector 1. That's Sondre Sorg DNF from the race. And that's another safety car. Sondre Sorg has caused another safety car then this season in IRL. Safety car then yet again, and the drivers are going to be furious. Softs are definitely not going to make it to the end. We could definitely see now a Tony victory. All jokes aside, we could potentially see a Tony victory. But that's 3 safety cars, same as last weekend where we had 3 safety cars. Potentially the safety car might have to go back to standard, because in Greece at the moment they're coming out every instant. Red flags all run, I believe, and VSC. So I wonder what happened to Sondre. I wonder if he had to avoid a car, something like that, because it's not usually like him to spin it, especially there. It's not really a loose traction zone. Maybe you can fill me in the comments to let me know what happened. Let me know any information about that. Well, Curtis is probably... I think Curtis probably will stay out, risk the mediums. And compared to the softs, the softs should easily make it to the end. Now, they haven't even gone full race pace in them yet. They're not going to be, obviously, as brilliant as they need to be, like 100%, but... No, Curtis says out. Anybody peeling in the pit? Oh, scratch that. Lordy is in. One of the soft runners is in. So is Fergus Wilson. So is the McLaren. Oh, Red Bull there. Oh, and look at the cheeky overtake potentially there from Ross on the McLaren in the pits. Let's go on board with Lordy then on a fresh set of soft tyres. He's got naught to lose. He wasn't in the points, I don't believe. He was just out of it. Ocean was just the car ahead of him. So he thought, you know what, screw this. We're going to go on the fresh set of softs, get the tyre advantage, and let's see if he can push a bit more. Safety car will, I believe, be in this lap, as Ross leaves the pit lane as well. As you know, the safety car won't be in this lap, we'll do another lap round. But at the present time, on lap number 21, Curtis leads, Liam second, Cameron in third. Some very strong race from him today. Lee in fourth then has also shown some good racing skill. But Tony, definitely going to be the driver of the day today. He's started the back of grid in fifth. Milham, who is currently the Drivers' Championship point leader, obviously that might change due to points scored from this race, but currently in sixth. Not a bad day in the office for him. Edward, not a good day. He had a good qualifying, was in third in quali, and right now, bit of bad luck due to the pit stops, and just hasn't had the general pace when the top 4 pulled away. Currently in 7th. Got a lot of work to do if he wants to try and get a podium. He's got to get past Milham, Tony, Lee and Cameron. Alfie just doing anything he does in the office there for 8th currently. Not a bad drive from him, especially he kept it a bit cleaner than he did in Austria. Bran on his debut had no occasion with a Red Bull, potentially going to score points. Ocean in 10th for the Mercedes. Score some more points for the Mercedes team. Let's see if there's any information. No information at the time. They've got doing all that round, so we'll have to wait for that. Going to be peeled in the pits. Luke Baker back in the pits then, so he's going to go for a set of soft tyres then. Don't worry, he'll catch up with the safety within plenty of time. Outlook. Lap 22 then, not many laps remaining of the race, but plenty of time for drivers to make mistakes, even plenty of time for another safety car to get back to the restart. As we saw how easy it was there for Sondre to cause a safety car number 3. Hopefully, as he said, as I was joking around with him earlier, he said he's going to finish the race today and hopefully not get many penalties. I said I doubt it, and well, my answer came true that he unfortunately couldn't finish the race today due to an incident. But as it stands, for the race win, I'm going to go for Tony. I think Tony just has enough life on those softs. They haven't been pushed yet. They've been on the safety car conditions. It's either going to be Tony or Liam or Cameron. I think they're the 3 main guys to go for it. Unless you see a man on a mission like Lordy in 14th just go through the field like happen, but it's highly unlikely. And the safety car is going to be out for another lap, it looks like, because Luke isn't catching up. He needs to go full throttle unless he's got a delta, because he can't be going this slow. They have to catch up. There is a rule. He's leaving it a bit late, like. Yeah, safety car is definitely not coming in this lap. All jokes aside, it actually might if Luke actually catches up. Nah, it's not. Nope, it's too late. Safety car's... Oh my god, Luke almost runs to the back end of the Aston there. That'll be only one incident Donut Denham wouldn't have been involved in. It's his own fault, but well, Luke then catches back up with the safety car, and we're doing one more lap around the track. Lap 23 then. We'll be back to green flag racing on lap 24. Who is going to win? Is it going to be Curtis? Is it going to be Liam? Is it going to be Cameron? Or will it be a surprise person like Tony, Millen, Edward, Alfie, Bran, or even Ushin in the background? Or even Ollie Favell? You never know. He might get a bit of luck. Hopefully he can score some solid points for the Alfa Romeo team today, because it looks like they could get a double point finish at the moment. And Ross and Luke are swapping positions for some reason. I don't know what's going on here. Keep an eye on these two. Luke needs to... Vizier's slowing down to warm up his tyres, which is fair enough. Ross just got to be patient. Same with Luke. No need to rush safety car. No matter how much fast you're going around the track compared to anybody else, the safety car ain't going to go any quicker. So there's no point even wasting your time doing that. As Ross has also been sent to the chute as well. New Zealand Cam has sent an incident, and safety car is in this lap then. So we're going to go back to green flag racing on lap 24. We'll look for 4-lap shootout as well. So we will have DRS this time. Not like Austria where we didn't have DRS for the final race. Final couple of laps. This time, we're going to have DRS. It's the late safety car yet again. It's neutralised the field. Put everybody together. Bonus for me as commentator, because there's going to be a lot of action. And Luke, for some reason, has slowed down. But... when will Lewis go? Will Lewis do the same strat he did last time where he's going on the straight? If I was him, I wouldn't. I'll just wait. Really slow. Not too slow where you're going to cause carnage in the background. But go slow enough and then just bolt it to shock a couple of drivers behind you and leave them napping, essentially. But the safety car is in the pits then. He hasn't gone yet. Curtis is still warming up those mediums. And I think he's about to go. Still hasn't gone yet. And he's gone now. Lewis then restarts then on lap number 23. Will be lap 24 when he crosses the line. We get a shocking camera view there as Liam is all over his gearbox. And here comes Liam making a move then round the outside. He goes. Cameron waiting in the wings potentially. Liam looks like he's got it. We're going on board view side by side there. Curtis holds his line. Oh, bit of contact there. Cameron tried to be optimistic. I don't know if he was alongside, as I'm having an issue there. With the sound. Hopefully that is not an issue now. As Liam is not having it. He's a man on a mission. He's going for it. Round the outside he goes yet again. Lewis holds his line. As no altercations at the moment. How about the Ferrari and the Williams side by side they go again. on the left-hander. The AlphaTauri of Cameron is waiting in the wings. He's looking quick, Cameron is, and Lodi moves into 13th. Mumford drops to 14th. Cameron knows he can get this position, has to avoid there, but he's now under threat by Lee Kelly as well in 4th place. He's got Tony right behind him in 5th. The pace is strong on the soft compounded tyres on the Aston at the moment as well. There's more action in the background. Fergus, Mumford have dropped a couple of positions. I hope there's no contact behind. Ross has got a 3-second penalty as Fergus moves into 14th, runs a bit deep, now under threat by Vizier, now under threat by Mumford, and Ross and Luke in the background. Back to the action up front. Cameron Young trying to keep up with Liam, but Liam is going to go for it, it looks like, potentially around the outside. Is he going to go for a late dive potentially? No, he doesn't. Stays behind, holds his position. Tony just waiting his time, waiting for the guys to make a mistake. We've got 3 laps remaining after this lap. Lodi is now moved into 12th position. He wants that point and he's fighting for it. He's now fighting again with Big Boy Dream for 12th, hour 13th, as he drops a couple of positions then. A bit of time actually, so not positions. But here comes Liam now, picking up speed, and so is Cameron in the background. As Cameron then, lap number 25, moves in the 2nd, Liam moved in the 3rd. I do apologise, I didn't contact something personal just happened, but Cameron lets him back through, so did Cameron potentially make an illegal uptake. And now, this is now opened the door for Tony as well. Millen trying to make it work, maybe the soft compound wasn't the way to go. Oh, Millen hits the Aston. Millen is trying to get round. Maybe the soft compound on those were not a good idea for Tony in the end. And Ross is making a move now on Lloyd. Lloyd's dropped to 17th, so I wonder if he's been in an altercation, one of the drivers, and potentially got a bit of front wing damage. One lap 25. About to start lap 26 very soon. Plenty of time for some more overtake and a lot of heated action to go. But Curtis pulled away now, gap 1 second. They're currently out of DRS range for Liam, but here comes Lewis Millen making a move for P5 now for the Haas. Side by side they go down the back straight. Millen is going for it. Bit of wheel banging there, but no love lost between the two. And Millen's trying to hold on the inside, but look at the Aston's grip difference. Holds it around. Oh, bit of contact. And a bit of an altercation there between the Aston and the Haas there. As we see now Edward trying to make the move as Lewis Cursor does the 33.5. Now here comes Edward now making a move on Tony. The softs are just not working. I thought it would have been a good strategy, but they've just fallen off. Maybe the drivers were right. And Alfie now making a move. Alfie potentially now making a move on Edward. And Edward and Alfie, bit of contact again. Last time these had a bit of contact, it was in Imola when they were teammates, where Alfie just completely dived into the rear end of the Red Bull. We're on lap 26 out of 28. Lewis Curse leads. The Ferrari Big Boy Jr. now under threat by the McLaren Vizier. It's obviously reserved for today. Fergus in 12th. Big Boy Duran, 3-second penalty is added to his time. However, Cameron now has seen this. Curtis has completely gone. He's like a rocket ship right now. Gap between him and Liam, 1.6 seconds, and he is flying. He's a man on a mission there for the win today, and he's going to be starting lap number 27, the penultimate lap of the race. But here comes Cameron Young. He isn't finished with the Ferrari. He isn't finished with Liam. They had a bit of contact in Austria. They had a bit of good racing as well. It's now back to China. Cameron versus Liam for 2nd or 3rd. Who is going to get this position? But right now, Curtis looks like he's going to take the victory. As on lap 26. As Tony few issues with the mic, just 2 seconds. So there we go, back to the live action. I do apologise for that and any crackling. I've had no issue with it all day today. As the Ferrari's gone spin in the background. As caution in the 6th one, there'll be no safety car, it's too late for that. Cameron in 3rd, Liam in 2nd, gap 0.2 of a second out. Also fighting in the background is between both Haas drivers. Lee and Millen fighting it out. Alfie not that far behind, neither is Edward in 7th. As yellow's in second 2, that is big boy Juan going slowly. This has been an instant. Potentially Ollie and Fergs are fighting out as well. We're trying to keep an eye on Liam and Cameron. We're going to go on board as Cameron is now going to make his moves. We're going to be starting the final lap of this race, and here comes Liam. Holds his line. Cameron trying to wait. He's going to wait one last time. I think he's just chilling out, not burning his battery, maybe scaring Liam a little bit. As Cameron is on a mission then to take P2. The Haas driver's not that far off, 1.4 seconds. So if a crash between these two did happen, both Haas drivers will move second and third. Ollie Favell has been given a 5-second time penalty for cutting a corner and gaining a place. Maybe he might appeal that decision in the stewards. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe Fergus might shut them off. He might have just made a mistake. But right now, we're on the final lap of this race. It looks like Lewis Kurtz is going to take the victory for today at China. Gap 2.4 seconds. The man cannot be stopped today. Liam trying to keep up today this race. Couldn't do it. After 3 safety cars hindered Lewis. Lewis has been unstoppable. Cameron trying to pass Liam, trying to keep up with him, to try and stay within this DRS range. He's not using his battery. Liam is. Liam has 0. Liam is going to lose his position, but he'll still get a podium on the cards. He took the race victory at Austria, obviously lost that due to a penalty, and Lewis Millen got it in the end. So maybe he was a bit annoyed from last weekend with that, but he should be happy with a podium result anyway. But right now, we're going to stay on board with these two, fighting it out. Liam, Cameron, going for it. There's been a spin, and that is Alfioli. Drops to 9th as Cameron Young moves to P2. Liam, is he going to send it late? Is he going to go for it? He's thinking about it. Cameron lets it through. He goes across the corner, but can't make it work. We're going to go on board with Curtis. He's going to take the victory in China, unless he gets a 3-second time penalty. He doesn't. He takes the victory for Williams, and that's 25 points, maybe 26 for the fastest lap. Cameron takes second. Liam takes third. Millen finishes fourth. Lee Kelly fifth. Edward finishes sixth. Then Ushin in the sixth. Lee dropped to 7 due to penalties. Brandon eighth. Alfie finishes 9th, it looks like. Tony does get a point for 10th. Fergus 11th. Mazia 12th. Mumford finishes 13th then, with Ollie in 14th. Big boy Juan and the Aston Martin of Ross or Donut Denham then going side by side. As the Donut Denham's actually done a bit of a donut there. He's spun it. Ollie Favell then does finish 14th. No, he doesn't. He's not classified. Finished across the line. He DNF'd a bit earlier on. As Roche finishes in 15th, Lordy then will finish in 17th, and not a bad day at the start of the race, but in the end it went downhill, and that is a shame there for Lordy, but does finish 15th then, ahead of OP Liam. OP Liam does DNF, so I don't know if that is a glitch or something, as we're getting shocking audio from McLaren. That is the race, and I do not want to hear that. Well, there is China. It has finished then. Fire out. And the podium celebration all around for Lewis Curtis. Yet again, Haas on the podium, and I believe it was Millen. He takes third. That's solid points to him. Could be a driver championship contender this season. People did joke about him not really being a threat, but results like this could happen. But Curtis, top step of the podium, wanted a top step at Austria, couldn't get it due to penalties and due to other circumstances. Cameron then back on the podium in second. Could have got it in Austria, but didn't in the end. But a good result from the top three. Well then, here is your non-official results. Obviously may change due to penalties with the stewards or anything reported. But Curtis does take 26 points. Fastest lap and started on pole and took the win. He did everything today. Good job for Curtis, and what a race for him. Cameron then in second then. Decent result with Millam in third. Edward fourth, Ushin in fifth. Lee Kelly sixth then with Brandon on his debut race this season, seventh. Alfie in eighth then. Good recovery after the spin, but it might change due to a couple of drivers DNF. It might have been a glitch. Tony then is temporary ninth. As I said, good change. Ferguson 10th. Tony, driver of the day though. Vizier in 11th. Mumford 12th. Big Boy June in 13th. Donut Denham in 14th. Lodi unlucky with a couple of mistakes and maybe a bit of an incident with another driver in 15th. Luke Baker 16th. Couldn't get points there. OP Liam and Ollie, as I said, it looked like they did finish, but I don't know what happened. They finished 18th and 19th, and I believe the person who DNF'd was Cameron Armstrong. Well then, I have been your commentator, Iron Neon, or it's Jared Fosbury. I will have to go due to an emergency personally I've got to sort out. But the next round is round number 3 at Qatar, and hopefully we can have another 20-car grid, another action-packed race, and hopefully we can see potentially Millam, Cameron, or Kurt yet again on the podium. Until then, I've been your commentator. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.